Well, Fanatics Fest was a smash hit this weekend in New York City, drawing in over 125,000 fans in its second year. One of our very own, Jenna Falkenheim, was at the event, and she joins us now to talk all about it. Jenna, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
Oh, it's our pleasure. So, Jenna, 70,000 fans last year in its first year, over 125,000 fans this year. It sounds like there was something for everyone. Talk about the different sports leagues that were represented at the event.
So NFL was there, NHL, MLB, everything that you could think of, even MLS. They had a little setup for football versus football, which would be the soccer in the US versus the soccer in Europe, which obviously they call football. It was just, there was so many things that you could think of. Even the PWHL was there. Everything was there for anyone versus full-on adults, kids my age, or I should say college kids, or even just little kids in general.
Sounds like a blast. Now, who are some of the big-name athletes and celebrities there, and the ones you were most excited to meet?
So personally, as a Devils fan, I was very excited to meet all the Hughes brothers, including Quinn Hughes, but mainly Peyton Manning and Eli Manning were there. Tom Brady was there. We had Jay-Z there as well. You know, obviously Jay-Z is not a sports guy, but he had his 40-40 club that was presented by Fanatics Sportsbook. There was Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, the iconic Derek Jeter, and A-Rod. The list just keeps going. Honestly, it was just phenomenal to be there and see all of these different people that have just made such an impact on the sports world.
Well, one of the panels included Tom Brady and rapper Travis Scott, and the panel ended up turning into a Travis Scott concert. How did that happen, and what was the reaction from fans?
So it all started with just Tom Brady talking to Travis Scott about him just being a music legend. And then CEO of Fanatics, Michael Rubin, came in saying how it would be crazy just to have a little concert. And little did they know, this was really not planned. Travis Scott planned this behind Michael Rubin's back, but it ended up becoming an amazing thing where smoke just coming up on stage, they had their crew taking away all of the seats, and it just became a whole Travis Scott thing. Everyone that was there for the panel, did not expect, obviously, a concert, but they were there to also see Travis Scott. So they got their fan side of being a lover of Travis Scott to come in and just see him perform. Like, that's not what anyone expected, but it just became such a big thing and probably one of the biggest parts of this weekend.
What a nice surprise for them. Now, who were some of the athletes that a lot of the fans were looking to take a selfie with or get an autograph from?
So a lot of them probably went between WWE players and the MLB players. When it comes to MLB, I would say it would be A-Rod and Derek Jeter, as they're obviously icons and Hall of Famers. And then also mainly Anthony Volpe, as he's had an amazing season so far. And he's just done absolutely amazing. And he is such a sweetheart to the core. Like, anyone that would come up to him, he would have a conversation. He wouldn't just sign something and send them on. Like, he would take the time and actually talk to them.
It's a humble and nice guy from what I hear. Now, speaking of autographs, you told me that Davante Adams signed a taco for a fan, and the fan ate around the autograph. You witnessed this firsthand. That had to be one of the most unusual autograph requests you've ever seen, if not the most unusual.
Yeah, most definitely. At first, I was like, oh, maybe this guy was just eating a taco, like, because he was hungry. Like, I didn't expect him to hand it to Davante Adams to sign it. Obviously, I was there just to take pictures, but everyone around me, including myself, we were like, is this actually happening? He handed it to Davante Adams. Adams just signed it, like, with no question. Obviously, he was a little confused and baffled by it, but he did it. And then afterwards, ate it. He took bites around the signature, and Devontae looked at me like, did that actually just happen? Because I was in shock as he was, and even his security couldn't keep a straight face. Like, who would have thought that a kid would bring taco to get signed and then take a bite out of it? So you'd think at the very least he would maybe put it in a Ziploc bag to savor the signature, but he didn't even do that. Like, he took a bite of it. It was definitely very weird, but it was interesting.
Curious to know how much that's going to go for on eBay. Now, WWE fans must have been in their glory during the SummerSlam kickoff event, and I heard the moment got pretty heated. Talk about that.
Yeah, so SummerSlam was definitely a big part to remember for fans this whole weekend because, all of it was just yeah, it was just huge. Like I honestly am kind of speechless to it because the way that it all like transpired was absolutely insane. There was certain like heat offs between wrestlers that you didn't exactly expect. Obviously, that's a common thing with WWE wrestlers, but just having the interaction they had with the fans and building that big craziness of excitement was just beyond crazy. Like I was in a different at that time for part of it. I was not actually at that stage, but you could hear everything that was happening from there at a different part of the venue. Like that's how big it was. You could hear the fans, you could hear the music. And, hearing the fans from a whole different part of the venue just goes to show like how crazy it was and how monumental it was for the WWE fans.
Yeah, yeah. Now, one of the other highlights of the event, Kevin Durant found out he got traded from the Suns to the Rockets while he was speaking on the panel. How did that go over, and what was his reaction?
Yeah, so it ended up that a fan stopped in the middle of a questioning saying that he got traded and he didn't believe it because like obviously his agent didn't come on stage and like let him know he was in the middle of a panel. So he was like going around to like looking at people like did this actually happen or is this fan just speculating? Obviously fans could say whatever they want and obviously try and rile him up. His response at first was just I mean we'll see, man. Those were his words, and those were his words for not knowing it actually happened. And once someone confirmed it happened, he was happy about it. I mean, obviously he got traded to a decent team and it is what it is. Like you're in the sports world as an athlete, you're going to get traded. It was just the timing was very interesting, and he did not expect that it would at least come from a fan at first.
Now, this might be a tough question. What was your favorite part of the event, and what was something you learned while you were there?
I think my favorite part of the event, as being a sports fan myself, was probably seeing all the kids and even full on adults get their autographs from players. Just seeing the excitement that they had was just, it was heartwarming to see, especially with those that would truly take the time to talk with the fans. Specifically, I would say Jack Hughes, because he had people who didn't have autograph tickets that were wearing his jersey and would walk by and he would stop them and say, hey, come here. Like, do you want me to sign your jersey? Like, they didn't have a ticket, but like, he's just a down to earth human being. Like, his parents raised him well. Like, they didn't pay for a ticket. He didn't have to do it, but he's just that type of person where like, he's not the average like jerk stigma that there is on athletes. Like he didn't care that they didn't have a ticket. They saw he was wearing a Devils jersey, specifically a Hughes jersey, and he wanted to do that. But just seeing that the fans' reaction to that, especially when they didn't have a ticket and it wasn't planned, was like it was just awesome as a sports fan seeing it myself. But then otherwise, something that I learned from it is that you need to have a schedule going in, regardless if you're covering the event or going as a fan, because there's so much to do. Um, if you have the 3 day pass, you really have to schedule out what you want to do every day. Um, Otherwise, it's a free for all, but just everything that was there is so much fun, so interactive. Like even just the merch village was just fun to walk around multiple times. Um, so you got to know what you want to do going in, but there's always something to do and there's always something to keep you busy. And it's just fun also meeting other sports fans.
Great stuff. Our very own Jenna Falkenheim. Glad you had a great time, and thanks so much for coming on to share it with us.
Yes, thank you for having me, Mike.